Welcome to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. Joan and Janet are subtle energy empaths in the field of consciousness. Their passion is to support your evolutionary growth and change. Join them as they talk about our individual and collective evolutions, explore what living consciously with energetic awareness means in our daily lives. Access with them a state of grace. There is no time, no space. Feel the warmth and acceptance and opening into infinite possibilities. Combining a broad collection of modalities and personal experiences, they share with humility and humor their appreciation for the body, mind, spirit connections that we call life. Now, here is Joan Newcomb and Janet Barrett.
Welcome to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. We're your co-hosts, Joan Newcomb, coming to you from Tacoma, Washington, and my partner, Janet Barrett, from Portland, Oregon.
Hello, everyone. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I hope it is wherever you are.
Yes, and I hope you have a great show. I hope you have we have a great show for you today. I hope you have it too. I hope you're in the same universe as we are in experiencing this wonderful show. The thing we're going to talk about today is about being in heart awareness, and we mention each time that we go into heart awareness, but people are still having questions about, what is that? Why be in heart? What's so important about heart awareness? What are some things people are asking you about, Janet?
Well, let's see. I've been talking to lots of people who have been listening to the show, and so that left brain of ours that's so structurally oriented, that is just so focused on doing and creating and being busy, is really kind of having a, perhaps for some people, why do I need to listen to my heart effect? And do I have time to listen to it? And what difference does it make? And for me, that's really the bells and whistles of, that's because you're so disassociated from it. Everything in every corner of our life is about expressing our heart. And we're fooling ourselves if we think it isn't. So that's why it's important. And we'll get into all those good things today.
Yes. My experience with heart awareness, actually my inexperience with heart awareness.
Yeah, good. That's the
way
truth
back
of it,
when,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's true. I went through 5 years of training with a mystery school, and I worked for them on and off for about 13, 14 years. And we actually back then, told the students not to be in their heart. Mm-hmm. It was clairvoyant training. We need to focus on being in the center of our head, not in our analytical part, but actually in the clairvoyant center of our head. And the teaching was that if you were in your heart, you would be viewing the world from rose-colored glasses, and you would be not neutral. And it was really important to be neutral. So when I encountered heart space, when I first started going to seminars, when I first met you, Janet, mm-hmm. it was a challenging, because I'd had 25 years of practice of not being in my heart. Mm-hmm. But the thing I was thinking about is I had this experience where I went to sit in the back of this room where we were all in heart space, and instead of you doing my old techniques of owning the room and grounding the room, I did a variation of that, a very quick and intuitive, can't really describe what happened, but I was in my heart space when I did that. And I suddenly had a huge, expansive, universal experience of it. And it made me realize is that my old techniques were like Newtonian physics, and I was in the world of quantum physics. So if you think about Newton and the apple and gravity and what was known about the universe at the time that he mm-hmm. developed this theory, and what we know about the universal now, my experience of being in heart space is taking into consideration and taking in awareness the entire universe, as opposed to just mm-hmm. sort of a concrete, mm-hmm. 3D reality. Right. So,
well, and I think what's interesting is I hear the reference back to emotional heart, and how, we want to be neutral, and we can all appreciate that. We don't want our attachments interfering with our clients' business and stuff. But on a personal level, which is exactly the same, and this is where where people have got all these false constructs set up. Like in business, emotions have no place in business. I don't know how many times that we hear that as a cultural call. And I would say, excuse me, what is your business? Who are you? A business is you're supplying something to someone else and they feel it has value. And so there's an exchange. It can be monetary, but it's still an exchange of energy. It's always about energy. And you need to connect to people. That's my bottom line. There is no way not to connect to people, because this old discussion of that we are separate from one another is totally false in my way I've come to understand things. We are individuals having a collective experience. There is no separateness. And as long as you maintain that illusion, which is a sense of mind, sensing different from heart, because you've had to split how you reconcile what you experience and how you feel about it, is playing out in so many layers of our culture. And you and I have come from personal experiences where we understand that there's only that is not true. We are not separate. We are individuals having a collective experience. I don't see anybody getting off this planet in an easy, efficient way that says, oh, I'm separate. No, we spend a lot of time and money to start that construct up to have people out in outer space, right? So it's like we're all here. That is the wonder of the gift of the, NASA and all those science programs, is that it's just one little planet. We're all here. We have to pay attention. And the only place you're going to do that is through heart. And that's going to break down boundaries, and that's going to break down all those things about, I want this and you have it and I want it and blah, 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 blah. It's all about heart space, and it's about our awareness that we hold that we are all one. Is where it's key, don't you think?
Yes, and something else. What I was thinking about is I had an experience. I've had several experiences where I was fully immersed and enveloped by the all that is the best way I could describe it. And one was I was at a workshop being given by David Spangler out in Duval, which is outside of Seattle, Washington. And he sent everybody out into the woods for some kind of experience. And I can't remember what the assignment was, but I was walking through the woods, these places with 100-foot tall Douglas firs. And I had a song go through my head that I associated with a relationship that had just broken up. And to me, it had been like, our song. It had been this experience of love. And instead of resisting it, I let myself run the music through my head, and I felt this heart opening, and then I let myself fall into it. And I remember at the time that I was falling into it, I had this fear of losing myself in this enormous opening of love that was happening. And instead what happened was I fell into it. I became enveloped in this incredible sense of love. And I had in the midst of all that, I had a stronger awareness of myself. Now, and this sort of started a series of things happening where I went, over like a period of 8 or 9 months, enveloped in this experience of love. It was really, a combination of like an Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie kind of transformation. And so what I'm aware of is that you can be in this heart space, and you're not going to lose your individual sense of self, but it's a different awareness of it. Boundaries are these really hard and fast things, but you think about merging with the rest of the world, and there's certain people, dictators, jihadists or whatever. There may be some people that you don't want to merge with, but that's not the level you're merging on. This level of consciousness. And you're not going to forget who you are. You're not going to lose who you are. it's going to give you a clear awareness of who you are, and this awareness of us being one on a consciousness level.
And what is gained by being aware that we're all one? See, this is extreme value to you and I. It is.
Well, the thing I realized when you were talking about what the value is, if just imagine what the world would be like if we all operated from consciousness. If we all operated from this heart awareness, but also operated from consciousness, from realizing that at this highest consciousness level, we're one consciousness creating all this individual reality. I'm not going to try to behead you. I'm not going to. It's the golden rule at its true essence of do unto others. It's like, well, I'm not going to participate or create, pain, anguish, and all that kind of stuff because it's me. And I'm gonna and it's not a giving up responsibility, and it's not a taking responsibility of somebody else, but it's being in the space of responding to everything that's going on.
Well, and I think what we're catching is most all religions at heart have their version of the golden rule, and I am no expert in any of that about all these different traditions and everything, but what is basis to what I'm sensing is that so often we set up things as ideals and not realities. And there's a difference. And there's something that I hold that as an ideal, but it's not my reality. Or it's my reality on Tuesday at 3:00. We are very compartmentalized about in our integrities and in what are important to us and in our values. And I think what we are seeing in consciousness as a whole and societies as a whole and what's going on in our world daily these last couple of months is where all this is fragmented apart and it's playing out. And if we could get everyone to just shut up and not react and go to a place of heart where we see that it's a limited view, it's a limited space. And then how can we help enhance, enrich each other's life experience? That things might show up differently. And we hear the hysterical, we hear the fear, and there are certain organizations that pander to this and manipulate this, and we have so much coming at us in our great ability of technology anymore to just get even more isolated in all of it.
About showing up, that is a great segue to that you're going to be showing up in Maine in October, I hear.
I'm going to do a Northeast tour. Instead of meeting one place, I'm going to meet people at 3 different places. And let me see, Bristol, New Hampshire, Boston, and then someplace in Maine, it sounds like. So I'll be happy to talk with that as we come back at the end of the show. And what did you have on board here? Well,
this is a big month of transitions and transformations. We have got 2 eclipses going on, and as well as Mercury retrograde and a bunch of other exciting astrological things. But it's a time of letting go of old experiences of ourselves and stepping into a new experience of ourselves. And to that end, I am going to be offering a webinar on reinventing yourself, and that's on Tuesday, the 21st of October. It's at 12 o'clock Pacific and 3 o'clock Eastern, and it's going to talk about the process of reinventing yourself, give you some tools and techniques to help you make these transformations and changes. And you can find out more by going to my website, joan-newcomb.com.
Sounds good. All right. So after the break, we're going to go back to heart space, everybody. We're going to drop in. The important thing is to understand is that it's easier when you hold awareness that you're doing that, and then there's a place where it's going to happen automatically, and every time you just listen to this show, you're right in it with us. So we'll talk to you in just a minute or so.
Yes, and one quick thing, since we have 1 minute that I can throw into this time and space reality, is actually if you're going to my website, actually you'll find the Reinventing Yourself webinar information on that too, but there's a freebie for you guys as well. Webinar is free, but the freebie for you guys is Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's a course that I taught this time last year, and so it's whether or not you want to manifest money or miracles or just something fun for Christmas or a different life experience. There are solid energy techniques for navigating your life with and from consciousness. So if you go to my website, you get that too. And coming up in the next part, we'll be dropping into heart space, like Janet just said, and we'll be continuing this conversation from the space of heart. So we invite you to tune in to how that feels. And even if you're, listening to this while you're driving or listening to this while you're at work, you will feel a reverberative effect of being in heart space. And so we just invite you to notice. So stay tuned, and we will be back in just a second.
The Voice America 7th Wave Channel.
Are you ready to take a quantum leap in your life? Joan Newcomb is a conscious mastery coach who empowers you to navigate life from your own inner wisdom using energy techniques. Contact her through her website, joan-newcomb.com, and take conscious mastery of your life today. That's joan-newcomb.com.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings at the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Invite meaning and inspiration to your life. This is the Voice America 7th Wave Channel.
You are listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. To reach our program, please send questions and comments to consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. That's consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. Now, back to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet.
Welcome back. You're listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. I'm your host, Joan, along with Janet, and we have been talking about heart space.
Oh, good stuff. And why and how important it is, how it is in context to the way the world is showing up these days, and that we're really having to tap into our awareness that we have had this major fracture between our mind and the power of it and how we feel about things. We're all human. We all feel things physically and emotionally, and there's no way of getting out of it. So what you do, though, is we hold the levels of awareness that we have in either user-friendly ways or in terms that say, no, I don't want to go there. And that's probably looking at the heart from more of an emotional standpoint, as opposed to the field of the heart, which includes that, but also the bigger picture. And that's what we're looking for, is to be comfortable with the emotional terrain in context of the big picture. And that's what we invite people to explore with us every week, is how to be there. And people are holding different awarenesses of that and values. And we want to get in there right now, I think, don't we, Joan? We have time to do. All right.
So why don't you take us into heart space so people can have this feeling experience of it? And also, there's a couple of people had some questions as well, but we'll bring that up once we're in heart space.
Okay, everybody. So whatever you're doing, be okay doing it. And whether it's driving or walking or whatever it might be there for you, wherever you are in the world, just allow that part of yourself. So find that self, right? That says, okay, I groove on this. I want to be back there. Heart is where it's all from. And we're going to make it user-friendly, and you don't even have to sweat it. So you're just going to notice something that's maybe been on your awareness level, and just put it over there. And over there is wherever you want over there to be. There are no rights or wrongs to any of this. This is what's key. There's no reason to feel bad about whether you hold awareness like Joan and I do, or you hold awareness like you do, or someone else you know. It's all just okay. So, take a moment, just breathe, and then just think of an elevator from your mind. Get in, punch the elevator button that says heart floor. Let the doors close. Ding. And take that ride down. Take it down to the area where your physical heart is. So you have a sense of dropping out of your mind. And in time, that won't be important. You won't even notice that. That'll be irrelevant. It'll just be an awareness. Oh, there I am. Let the doors open. Ding. You're in that lobby. Emotional context. Just notice what's showing up today in this moment. Might be something pretty, might not be. Might be something you're not expecting. Doesn't really matter. See, it doesn't really matter. Just notice it. That state of disattachment, that state of being neutral. It's just, oh, there you are. Lovely. Keep going and into the next room. And the room that is fathomless. It's expansive. It's all. This is the inner field of the heart. And it feels like, oh, well, we're really on outer, but we're really inner. We're inner and outer and all around all at the same time. So just notice what it feels like here. Your willingness to be present, that part of you that's tracking this, the part of you that's tracking your laundry or your phone, that's okay. Let it be busy doing that. And what comes to mind here? This is where we want our thinking and noticing to come from. How being here today will make a difference in the rest of your day, in the rest of your life. So what do we notice in this space, Joan?
Well, I am noticing a more expansive feeling from this space. And also, when you asked that question, my eyes landed on this note from a listener who is in Portland, Janelle, and she had asked about illusion and truth.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So she just called in.
She just called in. And actually, that's her phone number. That's funny. Home studios are always delightful places. So yeah, what is the difference? What is the same? Is it all? Who knows what, right?
Yeah,
illusion.
What is illusion? What is truth? And what is that answer from being in this heart space?
What do we notice? Well, we notice that everything is an illusion. In consciousness technology, I guess the reference is we are a holographic projection of a state of consciousness. If you learn matrix energetics, that consciousness technology tells you all about that. So we are, if we accept that premise, because that's what we're going to accept for right in the moment, and play this game, and so that all of you are in that left brain going, what does that mean? You go, we're playing a game, calm down, just allow. Okay, illusion, truth. What do I notice about those? It feels truthful to have an illusion. It feels like the illusion is that there's truth. I know from my own personal experience that I was heavily invested into truth for a long time, and then I kind of developed the awareness but that truth that when I was younger wasn't necessarily my truth now. So that maybe I needed to shift how I thought about truth and what that felt like and what that was. And then you start to understand, well, the illusion, if you think of it in terms of that context, so what was isn't now. It's really about the word illusion, right? So, okay, and it's a holographic projection, so it means it has some force space, but it's really can break apart and be different, and it's just a different way of engaging how solid and real, and I know you talk about density and effort in being in a physical form, and it's how to engage that experience of being human in a way that gives us for different potential. And so truth is one thing in one moment, maybe different in the next, but it is probably, I think people associate it with the thing that rings true. You hear that term, So it means in some way it's connecting through our emotional space, probably. It's not and we can hear it, and someone says something, and you go, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's it. It involves our thinking process, too. But I think it probably anchors in from the heart area. What do you notice about that?
Well, so what I notice is that when people talk about illusion, they think that it means something is fake.
Oh, good point. Yeah, right. Okay.
Whereas when I am in consciousness, when I am in heart space, when I am viewing things as consciousness, so that I am the conscious creator of everything going on, I'm not creating something fake, but everything that is in my reality is my creation. And so the illusion of it is that it is all that is. And the illusion of it is that, these things are happening to you, or that you're powerless in this. The things outside of you have more authority than you do. All of that's the part that is illusion. When you're coming from consciousness, it's like being the cosmic internet. It's not just connected to the cosmic internet, but it's being the cosmic internet. And so the truth is a resonance. Truth feels
okay.
For me, truth feels like the vibration is aligned.
Yeah.
Truth feels like clarity to me. So I used to follow along. I used to go to these monthly coaching calls and all with this person who was talking about everything being an illusion, including, all these other people. It's so that, that that it was okay to flip out on these other people because they were all just illusions.
And, all right.
And the thing is that, from my experience as an empath, I was like, well, how can, I can feel what's going on with somebody in New York City right now, but I'm in Tacoma, and I can track something going on with somebody in Madrid. And I can feel the emotional reality of somebody in Pittsburgh, and I'm just, and all of that just has been this morning. So, and then I was really tuned into my dead father yesterday. I felt my dead father, and part of the clue that I knew he was dead is because I see him in his 50s or 60s when he actually was 85 when he died. It's a surprise at me to look at the pictures of him from last year, because I see him in my mind's eye at the age he is presenting himself now that he's dead.
Yeah, right.
All of those things, and that so none of that is a lie to me. None of that's fake. None of that's illusions. That it's just all part of this creation of dichotomy.
So you're really talking about projection. Illusion in those terms is a projection. So it's being projected from somewhere, and it's being projected from everywhere. And it's, you can see where, like on a film, you have a strip of film, and it's not real, but it is real to the degree that it's real. Those are real emotions that people are portraying. There's the set, but it's really no place. It's on a little piece of film here, and it's just a condensing of information that we can visually experience, that we can use our senses to hear and feel, and it is all illusion. So we take our hand, and where it comes into play is when you're doing the microcosmic work, which is consciousness and breaking things down into terms of light, information, and resonances. We're looking at, you have your right hand, and you look at your right hand, and you look at your left hand, and you see two hands. And we're saying that the space in between your two hands is as real as your hands. So what's real? They're just showing up in different forms. That's all. That there is as much information and maybe different information in what you sense is real in your hand, and we can go to the bones, and we can go to the tissue, and we can go to the specifics of cellular structure. And all that is present in the space between your hands, but in a different context. And so we talk about how the body is really at base core, if it's just light, which are photons and biophotons, which is a little bit of matter, information, which is our stories and our patterns, and what are those, where are those, are we getting those out of our DNA or what? There's information in our field. There's so many different ways that we are sensory creatures that we don't necessarily visually see with our eyes. And our eyes are great things. They determine probably like 80% of how we track information in some way. The rest of it is sensory information. So truth and illusion, I think those are really powerful concepts and experiences we're talking about here.
So I was seeing things a little bit differently, and this is a brand new emerging awareness for me, is that that rather than it being a hologram, which is like it's a projection, which is still this aspect of separation, that really what it is it's a spectrum of vibration. And at the very highest spectrum is consciousness. And at the very densest spectrum is this physical body of me, and the physical body of you, and the physical body of, everybody in between. But when you're up at the highest vibration of awareness, that is where there's no time or space, and that all the lifetimes are happening at once. All the multiple lifetimes, every possibility is existing all at once. But it's not a projection. It's a focus. It's a focus that brings it into a sense of density. And that's a whole brand new awareness.
Great.
For me, and because that awareness is encompassing. Whereas the saying that something is a hologram is distancing or disconnecting. Do you see what I mean?
Okay. I think that the truth of all of this is that all of us are going to interpret, right? And we set up how we perceive things. And so we're inviting our listeners to take these concepts and to challenge themselves with, okay, what is consciousness? For us, it's God, right? But we don't hold it in the old discussion or framework that the majority of people might do that. And it's being conscious is about being aware of all, and we are the point of experience in that and referencing always. And what do we?
Well, and I am consciousness.
Exactly.
And it's not and so God, as you were saying, God is just limitation. Consciousness is
right.
a much bigger awareness than that.
Right.
So
And we don't want to judge that in any way. We just understand that from our experiences that conversation is limiting. Yeah. And that we need new language, we need new words, and this is what consciousness technologies are about. And it's all about the field of the heart. It's all about the power that's 5,000 times stronger. You wonder how these measure these things than a state of mind. So there is so much more dynamics going on, and the way it operates in this concentric circles around itself, and the totality that's in that, and the inclusiveness of all that's in that, and the limitations in that, and the totality. And
so speaking of limitations and totality and inclusions, I want to invite our listeners to hold this heart space awareness while we go into another commercial break. We have a lot more to discuss about this, but just be aware of holding this level of relaxation or awareness of sensation that you're experiencing right now. And we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Be visionary. This is the Voice America 7th Wave Channel.
Are you ready to take a quantum leap in your life? Joan Newcomb is a conscious mastery coach who empowers you to navigate life from your own inner wisdom using energy techniques. Contact her through her website, joan-newcomb.com, and take conscious mastery of your life today. That's joan-newcomb.com.
Want to know what's going on behind the scenes with your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network host? How about what's new with our network? Make sure you check out the iRadio blog, a look at what's hot at Voice America and beyond. Visit www.iradioblog.com today. Get the inside scoop on every channel on our network, including breaking news, featured guests, blog posts from our hosts, and much more. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter for even more inside action. Visit iradioblog.com today and stay connected.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. The Voice America Interactive Radio Player, powered by Aircast, gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs, anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
The 7th Wave Channel on the Voice America Network.
You are listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. To reach our program, please send questions and comments to consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. That's consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. Now, back to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet.
Welcome back. You're listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. I'm Joan Newcomb along with Janet Barrett. And Janet and I are leading-edge creators in the field of consciousness technology. And right now, we are holding heart awareness, and I'm hoping that you all have been able to hold heart awareness. I keep saying asparagus, heart asparagus, heart
I like
aspirations.
That. We should have a sense of humor about all this, Joan. We should have a sense. Are you there, Joan?
I think I'm trying to say heart space. That's what I'm really trying to say. I am here. So, all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm wondering if anyone else can hear us. So let's see, what are we noticing about this as we transition? The important part is to have tools or develop within ourselves tools to notice when things are different. And what is to be gained from being in this place is really what you take, the awareness you take out of this place. And how are we allowing for that to show up? Usually we can all feel a sense of relaxation, a letting go. Things just kind of shift, and the tension might be different. But we want to make sure that everyone is like, okay, so that was then, and now I'm back into my life. No, you're not. You are different for having been in this place with us. And if you allow it to be that way, you can go left brain on us and go back to structure and say, oh, that doesn't mean anything. That was just noticing for a few minutes, and now I'm back to the stress of my day. And that's your setup. Those are the rules you have about being relaxed, about being present and in the moment. And we would say, change them. And we'll be very upfront about that, because that's buying back into the old belief systems of how the world works. And you and I are the center of the world. And we need to start this from within. A lot of people take the approach, oh, I want to save something and the big global stuff. And the reality is you have no connection to it in a personal place. And only when you have a connection in a personal place are you moved to experience it in a new way. Otherwise, you're just petting at it and you're in a victim place and la, 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 la. We're going to challenge you on that one too. We're going to say, own it, be present. If you can't hold for heart space within yourself, how could you possibly do it for others? Now, it's your level of awareness that you're holding all the time. There are no rights, there are no wrongs in any of this. And just because you're not aware of something doesn't mean it's not there. I mean, I experience the wind all the time, but I can't see it. But I know it, and I groove on it, and I enjoy it, but I can't see it. So I can see the effect of it. I can see it in the leaves. I can see the bush move. I can feel when it's not there, but it's there. So it's just always our awareness that we're using. So
I can experience wind. I experience the wind after I've eaten refried beans and
you make the wind,
cauliflower and cheese, because I am the creator of my reality.
There you go. Definitely.
I had an experience the other day where I decided to take a day off, which really translated to a morning off, and I had a lot of concern about doing this because the world was going to come to an end if I didn't stop focusing on working. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed in taking this time off was this sense of space, this sense of quiet, and this sense of things reorganizing. Mm-hmm. And what I'm aware of today, because I just did this yesterday, is that something has shifted in me into a higher level of awareness. So what I have been sort of stuttering to try to explain here is a whole new level of feeling, experiencing things that so I can't quite put it into words, but there's just a more relaxed and playful way to go about experiencing this reality, and a clue that you're in heart space, or a clue that you're in you're coming from consciousness, is a sense of playfulness and amusement.
And it's that place of, I don't know what this is. I can't articulate it. Which is
curiosity and wonder.
Well, but it's also what you're describing so well. This does not run through the verbal processor. This runs through the right brain. That's the parallel processor. So we aren't necessarily able to articulate our experience out of this. And we're really calling on a great corpus callosum that really can allow for that function to happen when we're trying to articulate and give people words to a state that has no connection that way. And we're the observer, observing and being at the same time. And that could be a tricky place. So your lack of articulation is perfect articulation about what you'll find in this place. And when you know you're there, you just go, whoa, something's different. Don't know what that is. What was that, Martha? Oh. Yeah, and it's usually enhanced by the laughter, by the letting go, by the fun, by the silly. And we're going to invite people to carry that through the rest of their day. So that's something to notice, how, whoa, that's really not at all what I thought it was. Oh, gosh, I built that up to be something. And it really is because that brain is not pumping mind. It's like, get in touch with what's real in your heart. Allow that to move you. Allow your doing to come through your being. And the world starts to show up differently. And you start to feel better. And your health is better. And this is that place. And you can do it instantly. We want to set this up in awareness for all our listeners that when you hear our opening, our great opening, our intro to the show, is that in that breath that you're taking that you're not aware of, you're already in heart space. So by the time we get to it after our first commercial, when I'm making you conscious of dropping in there, you're already there. And you're just bringing your awareness to that place. And so that's our reality that we hold. We're in it before we start, and we'll be in it after we start. We hope.
Yes, and actually, Janet and I are starting to introduce something which is about being after the show. So if you receive a notification about this show on Facebook or Twitter or through our email, you'll notice a link to that. There's more information. It's after the conversation, after the show conversation going on after the show. So if you want to know more and hear a more deeper conversation than this one, which is already pretty deep, click on those links. Click on those links.
It looks like time to come back out, do you think?
Yes.
All right. Everybody, so just notice, and when we say notice, we're just going to bid a fond farewell in our conscious awareness that we are in this space. But we are always in this space. We're just not conscious of it. That's two different things. So we're going to bring our conscious awareness and look at all those things and just relax and know that this will carry through the rest of the day and come back into that antechamber of emotion. Does it seem the same? Does it look a little different? Are you feeling something different? We're setting this up so that you can engage emotional heart space without feeling that it's not user-friendly. A lot of us set it up that it's not user-friendly, and we're encouraging you to notice that, what if it was okay to be in my emotions and I didn't have to feel tweaked or irritable or whatever that might be for you. So just notice, go back into the elevator, and then hit the mind floor. And just notice, rise back up, and let ding, 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 and let those doors open. And you're back into your environment, and just notice if it seems a little different, a little brighter, a little more colorful. Let me see. Just notice that person over there. Are they like as irritated or friendly or what's going on there? Just allow yourself to register the difference. And we'll invite you to know that whatever you gain down there, and notice that thing that you were so worried about or thinking about, maybe it feels a little different now. I bet it does. I bet it maybe even disappeared. Don't go looking for it. Just let it be different. What do we got to talk? What do we want everyone to know, Joan, about what we're doing in the next couple days?
Well, actually, several things is I wanted to reiterate about that we're on Facebook and we're also on Twitter, and to give us your suggestions of things that you'd like us to talk about, because it's you co-create listening to the show anyway, but if you could send us some juicy suggestions, just like Janelle asked about Illusion and Truth. We'll give you your 15 minutes of fame by mentioning your name on the air, but also you'll help contribute to the richness of this show. And some things to mention, I talked about at the top of the show about my upcoming webinar on reinventing yourself. And also that I am giving away, if you go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, you can get for free my course that I gave last year on manifesting money and miracles. It gives you some consciousness technology for how to actually consciously navigate your life from conscious mastery. And that's actually a little segue for a plug for the things that I do, which is conscious mastery coaching. And it is life coaching with energetic awareness. It is empowering you to navigate your life with consciousness technology, with conscious awareness, with energy techniques, and it's all about navigating your life as consciousness rather than just a personality and a body.
Got it.
About that.
To be highly recommended. Yes.
Right. And you're going to be enjoying the colors in New England, I hear.
Yes, I'm going to be in Boston, New Hampshire, Maine. My husband and I are doing a trek. I'm looking to see clients along the way who would be interested in meeting me in person, and I'll be seeing clients in Boston, Bristol, New Hampshire, and Maine, it looks like. So if you'd be interested, contact me at my website at my email address, janetb@janetandbeyond.com, and I'll be happy to connect with you there. And I also wanted to remind people that I was offering a $25 off discount on your first appointment with me if you do subscribe to my weekly email and blog that's coming out these days. And that would be through, how do they get to that one? I think, go to my website.
Probably your website, yes.
Boy, that heart space is good. I can't even think anymore. Let me see, at janetandbeyond.com. This is also in transition, and we are so much I personally am enjoying the potential that I see in working on this platform with people and all the different ways that we can help and be of assistance and make the world real in a new way. That's what we're after. Joan and I very much see ourselves as educators and open to helping people through our own personal experiences how valuable it is to be able to say, that's the way that seems like, or that's what it was like, but we realize maybe we want to think about it in different terms.
Yes, and I want to give people some more concrete ways to communicate with us. Our Gmail address is consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. So you can email us directly through Gmail. You can also connect with us on Facebook. Our Facebook group is Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet, so you can go search for us there. Our Twitter account is @JoanandJanet. And actually, my Twitter account is @JoanNewcomb, so we're on Twitter both ways. So, and we're also actually on Google Plus as Conscious with Joan and Janet. And you and I are both on LinkedIn. I'm trying to run down all the different social media that we're operating on. You can find us. That's basically, and the thing is that we'd like to find you, and we would like to hear from you. We're really, we are so excited about opening up on this level because each person that you meet, each person that you encounter expands your universe. So you and I are both sort of in this experience of, I was going to say supernova, and that's not right, but we've become entire star systems now and more.
Totally. And they can reach us through our blogs where each of us write weekly about what we're noticing about life. Mine is Life and the Beyond, and yours is...
Well, actually, the direct address for my blog is jmnewcomb.blogspot.com.
Okay.
It's called Adventures in Density and Effort. And if you actually go to my website and sign up for Manifesting Money and Miracles, you'll get on my weekly newsletter, which is Mystic Musings, but it really is giving you the blog post. So you can find that. My
goodness, look at all those different ways to connect, for heaven's sakes, people. You can't say we can't find us.
Right.
And let's see, what What is it? Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm taking a moment to just track this, and
It's getting into time and space.
It is time and space,
So,
and I think everyone's out there. That's good.
Yes. So you've been listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet, and I'm your host, Joan Newcomb.
And I'm Janet Barrett still, so.
Yes. And we would like to thank you all for helping co-create the show by tuning in. So no matter where you're listening, live or in the future, your energies have contributed to this experience today. And we invite you to tune in next Wednesday for another great show, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. Universal Time.
You've been listening to Conscious Conversations with Joan and Janet. Thanks so much for helping to co-create the show. No matter whether you're tuning in live or listening on demand, you energetically contribute to our collective experience. Joan and Janet love to hear from you and invite you to email your comments and ideas for them to explore each week. Contact them at consciouswithjoanandjanet@gmail.com. Tune in next Wednesday for another great show at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and 10 p.m. UTC on the Voice America 7th Wave Channel.